Hi, how are you?
First of all, I don't understand how you look so healthy and so put together because it's early and you just did a great show out there.
I'm also really confused on how I look so good right now because I drank so much last night and, we're just rolling with it.
I was going to ask you about it. And because, how do you do on tour health-wise? Because, it used to be like complete debauchery.
Yes.
Now, mostly men.
It can be.
Women are more sensible.
I don't know. I don't think women are more sensible. At least I'm not. I have to be really conscious of it. My band is really good about being really healthy. And I had never really been on tour before I moved to Nashville. And so when I moved to Nashville 3 years ago, my first tour was Stapleton. That was my first tour ever. And so I had to very quickly learn, oh, maybe you shouldn't eat at this time. Maybe you should try to get more sleep than you usually do. Like if you want to keep this being a well-oiled machine, then you have to take care of yourself. And so it's been kind of trial and error of getting really sloshed on some nights and then also just learning how to take care of myself and work out on the road and do yoga and meditation and center yourself.
Not a heavy meal 30 minutes before taking the stage or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, definitely not doing that. Otherwise, that would be a disaster. Yeah.
Well, it's incredible, by the way, your story, and we'll get to it in a second. But I want to ask you about Crash Landing and just the visuals of it. Because just in research, Madeline, I'm enthralled by the visual aspect of your music.
Thank you.
It's almost like a little bit of Andy Warhol in there.
Yes.
David Bowie. and I wanted to ask you, I know you grew up in 2 states,
yes,
all over the country, where this visual aesthetic comes from because it is badass.
I always like doing things very extravagant. I like keeping an extravagant visual, but keeping some things really minimal, which is why you'll see me wear a lot of black a lot of the time. I was always really inspired by sci-fi growing up. And I definitely would consider myself a writer before I was a musician. Before I was even playing piano or singing, I was writing stories and making up stories in my head. And so I have a very visual brain. Even as an adult, I have just a crazy imagination, and I'm always looking for ways of implementing that into a real life canvas, I guess. And so, I'm always experimenting. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I just love being able to have a team around me of just really brilliant photographers, videographers, art directors themselves, and kind of bringing those visions to life. So kind of the Texas and California roots of the art scene in both of those areas, but mostly just sci-fi movies and books and stuff. I know that's kind of weird, but I'm inspired by it. So
you grew up in such a unique family. You're the oldest of how many?
Oldest of 5.
Oldest of 5. So there was all sorts of art and stuff going on there.
Oh yeah, we weren't really allowed to do things that normal kids were able to do. I wasn't really watching cartoons on Saturday mornings. We kind of were in a strict household. And so when you're forced to just do nothing but create your own things, your brain goes kind of wild with it.
Yeah. Worked out.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you were writing since young.
Yeah.
It's true you wrote your first song at 10 years old.
Yeah. Oh, you did the research. Okay.
I think it talks about a little bit.
Yeah.
But seriously, 10 years old, Madeline. That is wild to me. But when I hear you sing the masterpieces that you're doing now, it makes sense.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
So, all your whole memories are being a songwriter.
Yeah, I'm not good at anything else. I've tried sports, I've tried, business, I've tried law. I can be a little bit of a jack of all trades, but the one thing I've always been really, really good at is just putting my thoughts down on paper and collecting not only my own stories, but just the stories of people around me. And I've grown up in such an eclectic home between me and my siblings, but also the friends that we invite into our life, the community we have in our life. And it comes with a diverse spectrum of stories too. And I want my music to reflect that. I want the stories that I'm telling to reflect that. And so, I don't know anything else. That's the only thing I really love doing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you do extra also, which is beautiful. And just some research asking around, it's been great to see. We talked about a mutual friend that we have.
Yeah.
And everyone, I measured up, I talked to you, everyone says the same thing. Your values are incredible.
Oh, man.
Art.
Ooh.
You have an incredible like soul.
Are you trying to make me cry or?
And it's so great that I mentioned your name to people and everything.
Yeah.
And that's like the theme. She's a giver. She's an angel. Besides the artistic stuff.
Oh, damn.
Tell me a little bit about that part, because I think that's the key to a lot of what you do.
I mean, tell you why I have a good heart.
Is that from your parents? You know, just like your core values.
Oh, I mean, I definitely grew up in like a rough home. My dad's not really in the picture. That might be why I have the values that I have. My mom's really strong. She's a really strong woman. She basically raised me and all my siblings on her own. And Bonnie Edwards, yeah. She's just a beautiful woman, and she went through a lot of abuse with my dad, and I think she maybe rubbed off on me and my siblings, like, here's how not to live your life. I want you to have better than what I had, so I'm going to put these values in you. I want you to work hard. I want you to be giving to other people. And so when you come from an extreme household or background where it's that bad, I think when you put anything out into the world, you're kind of given no other choice than, you know, if I want to keep a really good team around me, you can't treat them like shit. You have to be like family to them. And so that's why it's always really important for me to have like a really familial aspect to the team building part. But I don't know. I just feel like life is too short to be treating people with anything but kindness. I mean, I lost my brother this past November, and, you know, thank you. He taught me a lot about that in particular, of just like, life is too short, even if you are wronged, and even if people don't give you what you want or you know, treat you the wrong way or whatever, it actually is better for you if you just learn to forgive and move on. And you don't have to give them anything. You don't owe people anything, but it's for you. Yeah.
Forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it makes. I love that aspect. It's so much to unpack there, but it explains a lot. Your art and everything, because believe it or not, you know, a lot of people can use that as an excuse for their life. But I feel like achievers and a lot of great artists that I admire and that I respect, Alison Russell, you know.
Oh yeah, she's so great.
They can use things like obstacles in life and use that as, you know, life doesn't happen to me. For me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you did, Madeline. And I think I just want you to commend you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I receive it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I know you have a long day ahead and you've been busy, but let me leave you with this. You have so many highlights that I could have picked off of your career. I mean, you just talked about like Stapleton, like your first tour, like, come on. But I kept coming back to one that it was just like the Alanis thing.
Yeah. I keep hearing the song playing on the boat.
I know. Yeah, by the way.
I'm like, oh, this again? No.
I know.
No, just kidding.
With friends of the show, Morgan Wade was in there. And a bunch of other legends, Ingrid Andrews. Was that like a WTF moment?
Yes, 1,000%.
Because I still see it, and I'm like, I don't know if I would, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Morgan, Ingrid, and Lainey are already women that I look up to.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched Lainey for over a decade now. I mean, I started following her career when I was still back in Houston. I fell in love with the Ladylike record by Ingrid Andress immediately. I think she's one of my favorite songwriters. She's written a lot of really good songs for me even. And then Morgan's just a badass. Like, she's amazing. But then you throw Alanis into the mix. And in all fairness, because I grew up in a strict household, Alanis was not someone I was allowed to listen to.
Too much.
It was too much. Obviously, she's talking about going down on someone in a theater, so that, you know, was not a part of the Southern Baptist rotation in my household. But I did sneak off and listen to her because, I mean, you could hear it in my music. There is the soul aspect. There's country. There's rock. And there weren't a whole lot of women being represented in that space that I could connect with. And she is one of them that I did, even if my, you know, and this is all things that me and my mom joke about now, obviously, because I'm an adult, but it's something that even my mom can look at and be like, I'm really proud of you, even though this is something that I didn't let you listen to when you were a kid. The fact that the story has now evolved to me sneaking out of the house and listening to Alanis Morissette on my own, and then being able to be on a stage next to this legend that has formed music careers for many women all over music. It's just
you four, I think, owe a lot to someone like her. You know.
Yeah. It was pretty amazing.
What a moment.
Yeah.
Well, Madeline, you've said it all.
Thank you.
You're a badass. You kicked ass this cruise.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you do.
Well, thanks for talking to me and giving me a safe space to talk about all this. Seriously.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here for the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from J-Rod Concert Media.